Drake is one of the most intriguing artists out there, and that's mostly because he's full of contradiction. On one track, he's a smooth-talking ladies man who wants you to be valued and respected. The next, he's claiming a girl who allegedly rejected him is a 10 on mute, and claiming he's a lesbian in one of the worst bars of the past 10 years. On other occasions, Drake claims he's the man, before delving into the sorrow and loneliness he feels. But while these are all just artistic complexities, the one thing that everyone has truly struggled to reconcile is when Drake attempts to behave in a way that would suggest he has some real gang ties or did dirt in the streets. While some people don't seem to mind it, there are plenty of people who like Drake for the melodies rather than when he acts tough. So why is it that Drake is never permitted to posture in the way that other rappers do on their tracks? And is there any way for this guy to ever be taken seriously in this light, no matter how many apparently active street dudes enter his orbit?
The guys at our school, instead of addressing people like the group, like saying like, what are you guys doing? Say mans like you. It's really weird. Yeah, so mans like you are going to that, and then this means like the group.
Crew.
That's interesting.
It's not, it's really ignorant.
Or rude. That's rude.
It's your boy Louaista, and this is why Drake is hip-hop's fakest gangster. But first, a little history lesson. For those who remember the origins of Drake's career, you'll know that tough talk wasn't much of a factor on projects like Room for Improvement or So Far Gone. In truth, the harder edge to his lyrics recently commenced on tracks from his sophomore album, where he claimed that "you gonna make someone around me catch a body like that," leading to no end of confusion for those who had witnessed his rise as a rapper fusing R&B into his sound and broadly making music for pop audiences. And at first, it seemed like a potentially catastrophic decision.
I mean, listen, I think Drake can rap. He's a dope rapper, but I hate when he sings. And I just think, personally, he's a corny guy. Like, he's just a corny dude. In that new Headlines video, he looks extra corny. It's like, Drake, why are you thugging now? Why are you dressed all in black? Why you got on black gloves? Why you got a whole bunch of dudes around you dressed in black? And then he's singing in Headlines about catching bodies. You're gonna make me catch a body like that? You're gonna make somebody around me catch a body like that? And, don't do it, because when he go to jail, we all go through it. And, Drizzy gonna pay it. What do you mean pay? What, you gonna pay the bail? You gonna pay for the hit? Like, that's not you, Drake.
Especially since Drake's crew at the time was mostly made up of guys like his producer 40, OVO Ryan, and Future the Prince, which are all creative minds, not street guys.
Nobody really that I've ever considered a true friend has switched up. But these these fly-by-night people that you just come across, they're all not to be trusted.
And in a genre where authenticity is, or at least used to be, of pivotal importance, trying to portray himself as something he wasn't was a very, very big gamble. But since then, we've had everything from Drake rocking ski masks as though he's immensely about to do a drill, to lyrics like, "I should probably be in there with thuggin' them," as well as spitting lyrics like, "The weapons we got is some terrorist shit. Like TV producers, we airing this shit." At every turn, people have struggled to buy it. And recently, his tough guy image has reared its head once more on the rollout of What Did I Miss? Whether it's the 100 guns in the music video, or his verbal spat with a passerby during a stream where the Toronto Hoodman's cosplay came out in full effect.
So what then? Big dog? Don't look away now. Don't look away now. Don't get shy now. We'll fold that up right now. Blessings. Blessings.
And considering that he's now fully immersed in the accent that he once mocked in front of some upper-class individuals, it's fair to say that, as always, most people are not buying it.
The whole trying to sound tough thing from Drake just never works. The whole idea we about to fuck somebody up, the we of it all fucks.
But that's what tough guys in Toronto sound like.
We'll fold that up right now.
By now, it's fair to say that this response to his latest attempt at adopting a hardened exterior is generally how people perceive the threat, or lack thereof, when it comes to Drake. But there are rare instances that people have suggested he's not the one to be trifled with.
I'm scared of Drake.
You scared of Drake?
Certain people, you gotta be scared of Drake. He's not a fighter. He's not a fighter and he's powerful. He gotta be dangerous in some shape or form, fashion.
But when we're talking about him being a fearsome individual, it isn't this guy they're afraid of.
Roach brought me the hat that I need for the stream right here. This is my alter ego. I need the Max Wayne. And Wayne is my favorite person to work with though, because it's just, Lil Wayne's just too good. Lil Wayne's just too good.
Instead, it's his ever-expanding entourage that's the problem. because these days, it's less geeky guys from the Toronto suburbs and more experts from the trenches. And at times, there has been reason to believe that they've acted like his personal militia. When it comes down to it, the reason why they're liable to crash out is that for a lot of these guys, Drizzy is their ultimate meal ticket. Some of Drake's people only eat because he feeds them. He's the reason they've got clothes, a car, and a roof over their head. And whether they admit it or not, they'd crash out for him in a heartbeat. By acting as their benefactor, Drake has instilled a will in these individuals around him that they'll remain loyal to him because when it comes down to it, he can change their life in an instant with one Cash App transaction. Always by his side yet invisible when he decides they need to be, the people that are essentially seen online as Drake and OVO's goons always have his back. But there are some people who feel that out of all of hip-hop, they are the least intimidating team imaginable. Drake got the worst shooters, man. All fucking dorks. LMAO. Although he hasn't always been around, one of the louder enforcers in Drake's circle these days is Canadian rapper Top 5. As a member of the Go Get 'Em Gang, or GGG, Top 5 was co-signed by Drake, and even got a shout out on Grammys off Views, with his track Shirt Off. But despite the recognition, Top 5 stayed active in the streets alongside his brother, and after his brother was killed, he and the GGG crew vowed revenge. Top 5 even went on Instagram more than once, saying he'd personally pull the trigger on whoever was responsible. Top 5 later talked about getting revenge for his brother on social media, and not long after, he was arrested for the January 2021 murder of 20-year-old Hashim Omar Hashi. According to police, Hashi, who was just a second-year accounting student, was killed in a case of mistaken identity, believed to be the man who killed Top 5's brother. And cops arrested Top 5 2 weeks later for his suspected involvement in the crime. He had a whole host of illicit substances on him, including heroin and fentanyl. Despite the prosecutor's reservations about releasing him because he was a flight risk, they were proved right, cutting off the ankle bracelet and fleeing to California before getting apprehended at a Burger King. Eventually, he was released after 3 years and cleared on all charges.
How are you feeling?
An innocent man just came home, right?
Toronto rapper Top 5, whose real name is Hassan Ali, leaves court after spending 3 years in custody in connection with the killing of a 20-year-old man in January 2021.
I feel like a baseball player, superstar, you know what I mean?
The case against Ali collapsed after the judge excluded evidence the Crown called crucial. That included music videos and social media posts. His defense lawyer argues prosecutors attempted to use his music against him.
What's your plan now?
I'm gonna bring every community together. Stop the violence.
With
positivity.
Stop the violence. Positivity.
And as soon as he was let out of custody, he immediately thanked Drizzy for paying his lawyer fee, securing him the legal services of Toronto's biggest lawyer in Gary Grill. At first, Top 5 said he wanted to focus on peace, but the second that the Drake versus Kendrick beef kicked off, that all flew out the window. He quickly took Drizzy's side, and even joked that the two of them would watch the Not Like Us music video together and figure out who needed to be dealt with.
I am gonna sit down with you guys and we're gonna play Not Like Us, and I'm gonna spot every nigga in the video, including DeMar DeRozan.
Yo, what's up with DeMar? What's up with DeMar was more?
He's Bogue. They traded him. Whack. Whack. Nothing. Bogue, man. Nothing, man.
From there, he acted as if he banned Lamar from Canada as a whole.
Let me tell you something. Kendrick Lamar can't come to Toronto. I'm here.
Yo!
Where others sat back, Top 5 took the flag and even acted like he'd kill Hida J3, citing his previously dismissed charge as the reason why he would escape any kind of legal drama stemming from it.
Oh, J3.
J3, who's
I'm gonna give him a fade, but I'm gonna dun him. I'm gonna dun him. I'm gonna tell him, yo, let's do the fade, and when he comes, boom, and with my word, I'm gonna dun the guy.
Yeah?
The guy's talking sick. I'll just beat the body and feel like I'm untouchable.
However, if Kendrick was supposed to be afraid of going to Canada, he clearly didn't get the memo, as shortly after, he announced shows in Top 5's city. Still, Top 5 showed that he would single-handedly bring a halt to the June 12th show of the GNX tour, and for a little while, he had some people fooled enough to be adamant on high alert.
Do you think that Kendrick could come to Toronto and do a big show without any problem?
I don't know, man.
You know how connected Drake is in Toronto as far as with government officials and who else?
Top 5 and all these niggas, you got wild niggas in Canada.
There's two I need daddy. You and Kendrick.
No.
Like I say it again, Canada's not sweet.
You really think that Kendrick Lamar's show is happening in Toronto?
Apparently he got two of them there.
That shit's gonna be canceled.
I don't know if Kendrick is booking the show at the Scotiabank Arena and people not showing up to just boo him.
Can't even trust people at the airport. Who can you really trust in Toronto?
I think everybody that goes to a Kendrick show in Toronto is going there strictly to try to ruin his show.
Every chance he got, Top 5 swore up and down that Kendrick wasn't gonna make it out of Canada alive.
You can't come to Toronto.
So it's real life, it's not just music.
Hey, damn right, why do you think everything's a joke? We're serious motherfucking guys.
But it seemed that his street cred doesn't cross state lines, because people on the West like Whack 100 and TDE affiliates like Smack insisted there was nothing to worry about.
Dude is nobody. Come on, we watched this same dude get mushed in the face and kicked in the ass. Oh, I was only 19. I don't know where y'all come from, bro. We off the porch at 12, right? We ain't going for that. What you mean you was only 19 when you got mushed in the face and kicked in the ass? Well, how are you supposed to be when you got the heart of a man not allow that to happen? So, you know, dude just do a lot of talk. Your little dude, 140 pounds, do a lot of talk. Ain't nobody worried about dude.
It's beef with Top 5 from Toronto.
Yeah, Top 5.
And they're going to class whenever they meet up.
His daughters, all that. Come get him. He threatening us. He threatening us to take us all off the tables now.
Yeah.
It's off the tables. He threatening us. Fuck your whole family. I hope they send this to you. Everybody go tag him in it. You pussy, B.
And for the most part, the public agreed. I'm from Toronto and think Top 5 is a goofball. Nobody finna touch Kenny. Besides all the tough talk, footage of him wearing a bra didn't exactly help his reputation. Not to mention other videos of him getting utterly punked by others in the city he allegedly runs.
Somewhere, dog. Stay outside, my nigga. Stay outside right now, nigga. Get the fuck outside, nigga. Get your ass booming on, nigga. Get the fuck out, boy. Who's you fucking pointing at, nigga? I'll boom on you right now, nigga.
Sorry, that's Top 5. Do you
I
know
ain't
who
gonna fucking the fuck you talking to. You think acting like you Drake ass? Get the fuck off the street, you bum ass. Look at nigga. Wear flip flops, looking motherfucker. Stuff you right now, nigga.
When Kendrick finally pulled up to Canada, Top 5 put on a whole performance, trying to force his way into the hotel like he was really about that life.
Lock off every door in the Noble Hotel. Man, even cut everything off. Man bought everything. He's a bitch.
And, of course, had an altercation online with Hida J3, where he declared that, "I'm convinced Crody the police." Ultimately, Dot played the show with no issue whatsoever, and for a little while, Top 5 disappeared back into relative irrelevancy. But this was about to come to an end when he accompanied Drake to London for his residency at the Wireless Festival there. From the moment they arrived in the English capital, Top 5 was doing his utmost to let the UK know that he intended to be the man on their streets.
London streets, nigga. London streets, nigga. GGG.
But all he was about to learn was that he wasn't untouchable in the way that he had previously claimed.
There's no killers in the UK. There's like serious guys. We're not gonna come kill us.
No.
They're not gonna come kill us. We're safe. You can even show your address.
Just hours after these comments were made, he got stabbed, essentially making this meme a reality. And after acting out the way that he didn't get any sympathy. He got clowned hard. Is he stupid? He's talking about killers with guns in a country where guns are completely banned. It's a different breed and mindset. Top 5 met the roadman out in London. In the wake of the assault and Top 5's hospitalization, the whole thing was subject to a police investigation.
If you was in your car yesterday, yeah, and you pulled up to the party where Top 5 got stabbed, you're getting T-packed. Trust me, they said they want to know who stabbed Top 5. They need to find out.
And this only led to further speculation that he cooperated with cops, with the UK rapper Ratlin labeling him a police boy. But above all, he should learn a lesson that when he's in an unfamiliar place, it's perhaps wise to not act like he owns the place.
When you come to the UK, when you come to London, when you come to Birmingham, Manchester, when you're in different areas in London, foreigners, because this is a message to you guys, please take us very serious, bro.
Because by the sounds of it, he narrowly escaped with his life.
Now, Top 5 is good. He has like a big laceration. It was kind of deep. He lost a lot of blood. He went through surgery. He's gonna have full recovery. That's a fact. But it's gonna take a little while. I think he said it was like 17 inches. But you know, but I ain't gonna lie. They for what it's worth, yes, somebody definitely went. You know, try to kill him. You know.
With that incident, Top 5 joins a whole host of apparent Drake goons who have hindered his image more than they've helped it. And in the aftermath of the Kendrick Lamar beef, there are few people this applies to more than Baka Not Nice. A long-standing crew member, Baka and Drizzy have been rolling together since at least the More Life era, where Drizzy tapped into his gangster bag by spitting, "That's Baka, he's a no longer talker, quick to let the text slam. We don't need to hear about a next man, youths talk down, they get ran down." In actual fact, he met Drake on the set of Preem's video for In My Hood, way back in 2010, gradually entering his inner circle since. And once Drake began to develop a harder persona, having someone who'd spent 8 years in the pen in his circle could only be a good thing. While for Baka, it gave him a chance at a music career, enabling him to join OVO. And since then, he's rode with him to the fullest, insisting that any disrespect wouldn't be tolerated.
You gotta understand something. If you're gonna disrespect my boss, my brother, my friend, or anybody on my team, I'm gonna feel offended. True. It would be weird if I did it. Those are my brothers. Those are the men that I eat with, break bread. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course I feel offended. But at the same time, I know that Drizzy Drake is a grown man and he can handle himself. If he needs me, he can call.
He can call, yeah.
But these days, you can't hear his name without hearing the words "weird case" immediately afterwards, courtesy of Kendrick alluding to his shady dealings with an ex that he pleaded guilty to. Later, Baka claimed that his boss told him not to respond while also insisting there was nothing to the allegations.
Sorry, it might not have been a call, it might have been a text message, but he messaged me, and he's like, I know what you're feeling, I know you as an individual, and I know how you get down, but I'm just letting you know, like, don't listen to the noise, because it's noise. And if you go back and look at all these people that are saying things or having anything to say, they're not even actual real people. They're like bots. Exactly. So like, don't let that shit bother you, bro. Facts. Like, and you know what? Like, I mean, it's not a good thing, but they're calling your name. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you know, they're gonna get over this crap because they're gonna realize that it's crap, and then they're gonna go do their own research. And when you do your own research, you're gonna be like, wow, this guy made up a whole story about something that isn't even true, and it makes you look weird to me. I don't know.
It does.
But in all honesty, doing research is the last thing he should have asked anyone to do.
2014, Baka was arrested and charged with forcing a 22-year-old woman into prostitution and taking her money. In 2015, he pleaded guilty to assaulting a woman, an unrelated weapons charge. He was sentenced to 6 months, but since he had already spent 10 months in custody, he was not required to serve any additional time. The woman actually refused to testify, which led to the charges of forcing her into prostitution and human trafficking to be dropped. The reason why I stuck is because it sounded good and it sounded funny and it sounded disrespectful. Baka got a weird case. Why is he around? He put a whole plan together to make a record to dismantle y'all. That's all it was about. It was about causing friction from within. Saying, have you ever thought OVO was working for me? You know what I'm saying? Even for the person who might have not been working for him at all. Y'all said y'all fed him information.
And if the goal was to divide and conquer as Wayno suggested, it definitely worked to an extent. Because these days, the guy who's supposed to be the big bad wolf in Drake's corner is getting clowned on every post that bears his name. And plus, they've only been pictured together sparingly since it all went down, with Baka not even making his way to London. With incidents like this mounting up, and his team struggling to retain any semblance of respect, he must be wondering who he can rely on. And if that's the case, he'll be happy to have Chubbs. Unlike someone like Top 5, Chubbs has been with him since the outset.
Preem had met Drake and introduced us to Drake. We didn't know him back then, so Preem was rapping and Drake was rapping. Drake was really good, you know? So when I first heard Drake, I was kind of like, you sure you want to embrace this like that? Because like, he's really good. But yeah, it's the best decision we ever made. When I first got on the road, it was security, make sure he's straight at all times. You know, we went to New York first. He shot the video for Best I Ever Had. He asked me to come to Miami. We went to Miami, and then he was just like, yo, why don't you just stay on the road? And that was like 14 years ago. I haven't come off the road yet.
The man who has acted as his head of security for years, Chubbs is always by Drake's side. He was probably the one with him during the Punk'd episode where Drake got so scared that they didn't even air it because it was too embarrassing.
I think like one of my favorite ones is one that we did at the end. We punked Drake and we created an earthquake inside of a parking garage. Like, a lot of people didn't see it, but we legitimately like turned a parking garage into an earthquake zone. And he was in the car and we started like rattling the car and the whole garage. And he jumped in his buddy's lap and he's like, literally, he fetaled up. He like Canadian fetaled up into his buddy's lap. No. And I was like, yo, Drake just fetaled up. And then we had to cut that out.
And even the footage that did make the air didn't exactly portray himself as a tough guy.
Bro, it says it right here on the back.
Who the fuck are you?
Dude, what is this? Why do you have this? It's a Secret Service car. Man. What the fuck? Yo, why do you have this?
No. What are you doing with this?
Move this car.
Tase your wife. Tase your wife.
Oh my God, dude! Oh my God! Did you just tase your wife?
Still, while women come and go, and even his relationship with his dad has become strained, Chubbs has been a constant, saluting him as far back as the liner notes of Thank Me Later, all the way up to his henchman's 40th birthday party.
That's my dog right there. As a 38-year-old, I just want to say happy 40th, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Listen. We're all one family. We celebrate together, you know what I'm saying? Highs and lows. We celebrate the lows too, by the way. That's my recommendation to you. Sometimes you gotta celebrate the lows too.
And by all accounts, if there's anyone who's truly put himself on the line and took penitentiary chances for Drake, it's him. For one thing, he apparently put his hands on producer Detail during a dispute about whether or not he wanted to work on Drizzy's album, and apparently got his face broken in the process. "I'll beat all your asses, including your bitches," Chubbs apparently said amid the beatdown. "I don't give a fuck. I will hit you again. Do you think Drake is soft? You think Drake's a punk?" Afterwards, Detail says he was so badly hurt that he couldn't work for a year. He asked Drake repeatedly, and in vain, to cover his medical expenses. This sort of sentiment would be echoed by someone like Mo G, a Toronto artist who was shouted out on the track Summer 16 before falling afoul to OVO after claiming he wasn't properly compensated for his work on Drizzy's tracks. Left angered by it all, he took his grievances to the internet.
Have you ever heard in the history of hip-hop a man that gives away his creativity and helps make Billboard hits but doesn't get paid $1 for it, one credit for it? Here stuck in the hood. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. But exposing these niggas will make sense. Fuck you bitch ass niggas. Song. Oliver's a fucking snake ass nigga, double-headed snake ass nigga. Alright, just to let the world know, I never got paid no 12 grand. For the record, I'm not signed to OVO, and all my real fans have been rocking with me from day one. Check the history. I always delete all my posts, and I deleted it because I got bigger info coming to you right now.
And just days later, he was in the hospital after a beatdown from apparent Drake goons, most likely led by Chubbs himself. Another man who can attest to Drake's goons getting active would be none other than Dram, who claims he was on the receiving end of a beating from his security.
Hey, somebody tell Drake to shut the fuck up about that shit, man. Fucking 5 years ago, this nigga never even fucking touched me, nigga. I pressed his ass. His fucking bodyguards, goddamn. I ain't gonna hold you. His bodyguards went to town on the kid. But his bodyguards in, not his bitch ass. He ain't touched me. He's a bitch. You know that. You wanna have your guards. That's cool though. He ain't touched me though. And that shit from 5 years ago. Come on, nigga. Who else, like, you know what I'm saying? Why don't you keep bringing up? Why don't you bring up how you got smacked by a Diddy or some shit?
With Dram and everyone who's received a beating from the OVO team all claiming that Drake himself wasn't actively involved, it paints a picture of a man who won't do his own dirty work. And when someone actually does press him face to face, he usually takes the L. Like back in 2014 at DJ Khaled's birthday party, where he and Diddy got into it over the 0 to 100 beat, and Drake definitely didn't come out on top.
I was laying in my bed and my phone kept ringing. I'm like, why my phone keep ringing at 4 o'clock in the morning? So I go to look at my phone, and it's my dude, like my dude. And they ain't, you know, he ain't no just random guy in the club. This is somebody that everybody knows. He's like, boy, you wouldn't just believe what happened. I'm like, what? Did he just slap Drake?
Slapped or punched?
I heard a slap. He's very happy that, you know, Diddy slapped Aubrey. That's just the bullshit in me that appreciates that. I actually sent Diddy an email and said, you're my hero.
And while some might argue that Drake had to take it given Diddy's newly unveiled superhero status, it's important to remember that his friend J. Cole had thrown hands with Diddy a year later at a VMA's after party. With no verifiable evidence that Drake has ever been in a fight, he has instead built a crew which features affiliates of GGG Gang and Halal Gang, the former of which stole DJ Drama's chain after his apparent role in the Meek and Drake beef, before shouting out the Toronto star in the process.
This what you fucking get for not checking in. Shout out boy Drizzy, eh? Triple G's, you know how we rock, slap, brat, brat.
Then, there are his dealings with members of the Reps Up label, including G-Way or Galloway Boys gang members like Gilla and P. Rain. And of course, there's perhaps the biggest force field of all in J. Prince. In case you're not familiar, this Rap-A-Lot Records CEO has held sway over Houston for a long time. He has gone down in hip-hop history as an individual who can't be messed with. Just ask his former artist Yuckmouth about how he commands respect.
Jay is connected. Like, you get him, you know what I mean, with the Chicago connection, you know what I mean, with the big homie in Chicago. I ain't gonna throw his name out there like that. He's connected with all the big homies. Jay is tapped in with too many real niggas. And too many motherfuckers love him and got respect for him to let anything go bad talking about him, period. He got too much respect and love from everybody, and he fucks with everybody. So good luck getting away talking about that man.
Over the years, since Drizzy's first linked up with the mogul's son, Jazz Prince, Jay has maintained that he would always have Drake's back. And when his beef with Kanye reached his height, people believed that he put the screws to Ye when he made him issue a public statement, which looked like a hostage situation.
I'm making this video to address the ongoing back and forth between myself and Drake. Both me and Drake have taken shots at each other, and it's time to put it to rest. I'm asking Drake on December 7th to join me on stage as a special guest to share the 2 biggest albums of the year, live in Los Angeles, with the ultimate purpose being to free Larry Hoover. I believe this event will not only bring awareness to our cause, but prove to people everywhere how much more we can accomplish when we lay our pride to the side and come together.
Immediately, people saw through the notion of this being organic.
But Drake just not saying a word told me all I needed to know about this appearance and what it is and what it meant, and hopefully none of us and none of y'all have to ever be in this type of predicament. Jay Prince is there with his hands folded, not even making sure that you reading the right shit off. There ain't a worry in the Just world. me standing You might as here well go make some coffee.
He's the type of guy people say can ruin careers if he really wants to, which led to comments like, Jay Prince definitely typed the whole thing out. He looks like there's a gun pointed at him off camera. However, beyond the smokescreen that he's provided by all these people around him, Drake still can't seem to shake the image that he is soft, which has been following him around since the origins of his career. Not to mention that when he does try to assert himself, it's only met with laughter. And if there's any reason why that is the case, it isn't down to any external factor. Instead, it is simply the doing of Drake himself. Because while some suggest that the belief that he's essentially a weakling comes from a broad generalization about Toronto, others feel like it's a direct byproduct of how he is as a guy. In their mind, Drake is the soft light-skinned Canadian, and in the American arrogant ignorant mind, all of Canada is maple syrup and hockey. So when Drake raps about any testosterone or references anything street, it registers as pure fantasy and fraudulent because they can't fathom that Drake could possibly have an ounce of toughness or have any connection or relationship with anything or anybody street. I promise you, nobody is calling Drake soft because he's Canadian. They say he's soft because he was on Degrassi and how he carries himself, wearing bonnets, nail polish, and I'm a Drake fan. Given the perception that he is an actor playing a role, it explains why the use of hundreds of guns in the video for What Did I Miss seemed anything but legitimate. It even got heavily critiqued by people like Charlemagne, who just couldn't fathom how it seemed like a good idea.
So many people that you had to go at.
It's a cool record. I mean, Drake can rap, Drake can make music, we know that. But I mean, y'all don't think it's extremely corny for him to be in a video surrounded by guns?
No, absolutely it is. Yeah, for sure.
Y'all don't think that's extremely corny?
Yeah. The song, honestly, it just sounds like another good Drake hit. It don't really sound like.
I don't even know if it's. I don't even know if it's.
I wouldn't say
a hit.
It don't.
It's a cool record.
Like another Drake, you know, like single. The vibe. Like okay, cool, like a vibey single.
Why is he in the video surrounded by guns? What is the point?
Because
you want to go to war because you off the rap battle? This record would make a lot of sense if Drake hadn't said nothing for the last year and a half. If he hadn't said a word, no lawsuits, no nothing, hadn't said nothing, he just came out. What did I miss? I didn't know what y'all was on. Like, that would make more sense. But you in the video surrounded by a bunch of choppers. You're the Canadian chopper slinger now.
Because rather than altering the narrative around him, it brings to mind the bars of Euphoria where K-Dot spit that, I hate when a rapper talk about guns, then somebody die and they turn into nuns, saying pray for my city, they faking for likes and digital hugs. After all, this is the same guy who once dedicated a verse on Snoop Lionn's No Guns Allowed to Cheyenne Charles and Joshua Yesay, 2 youths that died in Toronto, with bars like, news from back home, this is when it hurts to be gone. 2 more young names to be carved out of stone. And you can bet that if Top 5 had lost his life, then he would have been directly online paying tribute to the man who was happy to act like Drake's enforcer. Aside from corny stunts like that, there is also the simple fact that he's been punked numerous times, including the incident where a friend of T.I.'s once peed on Drizzy's leg, and there was basically no repercussions.
The wildest shit I've ever seen before in my life, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't had no malicious intent. Yeah, I shut it down. I don't want it to be weaponized against nobody. And when I said it right now, it wasn't the victimized cuz. It was like, yeah, that shit happened. And I was pissed off in my partner when it happened. I don't see how it could ever be taken as a, you know what I'm saying, like as a diss. I don't see how it could be. That would be someone allowing their emotions to manipulate them.
This leads to another K-Dot lyric that's aging like fine wine. Don't let another man pee on your leg, son. Either you die right there or shoot that man in the head, son. But these incidents don't just happen when he's away from his alleged empire of Toronto either. In 2009, he was robbed for $2,000 in cash, an Audemars Piguet watch, and a diamond chain Lil Wayne had gifted him outside of a restaurant in his native Toronto. I knew it was a setup because I had on a sweater and a jacket, Drake later said of the situation. But when they banged on the car window with a gun and opened the door, the first thing he said was, "Yo, run that chain." They didn't rob her, and her purse was sitting right there. So I was like, okay, you set the whole thing up. And to make matters worse, initial reports suggested he cooperated with the investigation, something which is rightly or wrongly a cardinal sin in hip-hop. Once again, this was alluded to by K-Dot on Euphoria with him spitting, "I be at New Ho King eating fried rice with a dip sauce and a blammy, Crody." Even discounting incidents like this, his upbringing means that he doesn't have the temperament of even someone like K-Dot, who, while he has never claimed to be a gangbanger, is familiar with the codes and ethics just by the virtue of where he grew up. As a result, we get incidents such as the time where he apparently ran from the very sight of firearms on the set of the Game's 100 video.
Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? The nigga ran from the video. We had to go get the nigga. We started moving location. He started seeing homies come out with sticks to go clear the next block. He jumped in his Escalade and ran. We had to go send niggas to chase him down and bring him back. So what are y'all talking about? You're super tough. Y'all talking about with Drake. I'm confused. In fact, the homie pulled up. Trader Troop pulled up by himself. Whack, where y'all at? What you doing? We got a video. Where you at? Bombed it.
I remember you.
Remember the address. He pulled up by a nigga, took a taxi over there. Listen, how y'all even relate? How y'all even trying to tie Drake to anything gangster tough?
He's not gangster.
That ain't what he do.
Not at all.
And even he attempted to use Kendrick's lack of gang affiliation against him. Legends like Compton's MC8 inferred that someone like Toronto didn't have the authority to wade into these matters when he fundamentally doesn't understand.
Well, yeah, you actually commented because when Drake dropped Family Matters, he tried to sort of paint Kendrick as like a fake gangster, you know, like who really represent, you know, YG, who really represent Chuck D. But you actually said that Drake is reaching. Kendrick never claimed to be a blood.
No, his representation, what it was. Everybody knew where he lived, where he grew up. That was basically what he wanted to portray to people. Like, I'm not all out just, you know, red ragged and, you know, khaki suits and, you know, tattoos of the neighborhood, but I grew up over here. I'm still gonna represent where I'm from, but I never, you know, came out, you know, like the homie YG or the homie Game, who openly told you, I'm affiliated with this section. Kendrick basically was just like, I grew up over here. I never went through the situations where I got put on or that type of things. But when you grow up in the hood, you're still a part of the neighborhood. And so that's where he came from with it.
But it somehow goes even deeper than that. Because after suing UMG over the beef that he was once begging Kendrick to partake in, any notion that he would be a gangster or would do anything more than shout out a man from a distance on a live stream or mean mug DeMar DeRozan from the sidelines just seems implausible. Instead, he's doing his battles in the courtroom, with the news recently emerging that his lawyers are listing 63 potential witnesses in its initial disclosure filing regarding the rapper's defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group. And much to the dismay of he and his whole crew, is doing nothing to improve their reputation. Chubb still ain't crashed nothing, and oh boy, took a rap battle to the courts. Fake tough shit, and y'all still eat this shit up. Goofy. By all accounts, people really just want Drake to be himself. Because when he tries to be something else, the results are cringeworthy at best, and genuinely unbearable to witness at their height. Despite how many real killers he may know, the fact remains that he isn't among them, and if anything, that's a good thing. So it's time to embrace the fact that he wasn't raised in that environment and abandon the accent before it genuinely skews how people see him in a way that even more great music might not resolve as it once did.